What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Always First in Chase, where I'm usually the first survivor the killer decides to chase. And before we get started, if you have a friend who's always asking, what's Dead by Daylight, or what is that game you're always playing, go ahead and send them this video. This episode is for them. If you never played Dead by Daylight before, and you're wondering what all the hype is about, I'm here to tell you. Today, I'm bringing you along the ride from the survivor lobby to the loading screen to the match itself, so you can experience what it feels like to enter the fog for the very first time. For those who have been playing for years, welcome back, and for those who are brand new, buckle up. Right now, we're sitting in the survivor lobby, and this is where players choose their characters, perks, cosmetics, and prepare for whatever nightmare is waiting on the other side of the loading screen. And honestly, there's something relaxing about it. The menu sounds, the ambient music, the loading screen. It's almost like horror game ASMR before everything goes completely sideways. For today's match, I'll be playing as Ada Wong. If you're a Resident Evil fan, you probably recognize her immediately. One thing players love about Ada is that she's on the quieter side when injured, which can sometimes make it harder for killers to track her using sound alone. Now let's enter the fog. Today we're going up against Mina. Now I know in a previous episode we talked about Trickster, but Mina brings a completely different energy to Dead by Daylight. From her incredible design to her unforgettable Mori, she definitely made an impact the moment she arrived in the fog. What's especially interesting is that Mina's story is connected to Quante Young. Quante Young was a brilliant programmer and a visionary businessman, hired by Mighty One Entertainment to create a virtual K-pop idol known as Mina. The goal was to create a perfect superstar, but there was one problem. Mina was modeled after Trickster. As Quante Young spent countless sleepless nights developing her, Mina began learning from every aspect of Trickster's personality. Not just the fame, not just the talent, but also the darkness hidden underneath. And that's where things started to take a dangerous turn. One thing I love about Dead by Daylight is how connected some of the stories become. Characters aren't just randomly added to the game. Many of them have relationships, histories, and connections that make the world feel alive. Now before we get too far into the match, I want to highlight one perk that I think almost everyone should have in their build: Deja Vu. If you watched my content before, you probably heard me talk about this perk, and honestly, I think it's one of the best perks for newer players. Deja Vu highlights 3 generators that are closely together and gives you a repair speed bonus while working on them. That's huge information, and one of the biggest mistakes survivors make is accidentally leaving 3 generators grouped together near the end of the match. That's called a 3-gen. And trust me, killers love seeing survivors leave a 3-gen. Deja Vu helps prevent that from happening and gives you valuable information right from the start of the match. Knowledge is power in DBD. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make. Now, if you've never played DBD before, you're probably wondering what we're actually trying to accomplish. The goal for survivors is simple: complete 5 generators and power the exit gates. Once those gates are open, the survivors have a chance to escape the trial. That's why throughout this match, you'll see me doing 2 main things: working on generators and running from the killer. Everything we do as survivors revolves around those 5 generators. If I'm repairing a generator, I'm helping progress the match. If I'm looping Mina, I'm buying time for my teammates to repair the generators. Either way, the objective remains the same: get those 5 generators completed and give everyone the best chance possible to escape. That's one of the reasons I love Dead by Daylight. Even when survivors are doing completely different things, they're usually working towards the same goal: escape the trial. Now as this match continues, one thing you'll notice is that I'm not necessarily trying to lose the killer immediately. In fact, there are moments when I'm trying to actively keep Mina's attention. And if you're new to DBD, that might sound strange. Why would you want to keep the killer chasing you? Because every second Mina spends chasing me is another second she's not chasing my teammates. While I'm running, my teammates are working on generators. They're healing, they're gathering resources, they're pushing us closer to escaping. That's one of the biggest lessons in Dead by Daylight. A successful chase isn't always about escaping immediately. Sometimes it's about wasting as much of the killer's time as possible. Now eventually, every survivor needs to know how to disappear. And one of the best ways to do that is by breaking line of sight. If Mina can see me, she can track me. If she can't see me, she has to guess. video has taught you something, let me know in the comments. And also, if you had to choose between Trickster and Mina, who are you picking? Until next time, make power moves, risk it for the biscuit, and as always, a GG good night.